right now, what they are secretly working towards is Islam Makhachev and Ilya Topuria.
To the White House.
They go, yes. That's
no
likely.
American.
And you got to be real careful if you do want to bill it American versus somebody. You got to be real careful because you can't control that script.
God, what can you say? What can you say about our next guest who's joining us in studio for 3 years? We were partners. We were co-pilots. There was no I in team. We ushered in the UFC/MMA era to the worldwide leader. He's in town, I do believe, for 322 comings and goings. I mean, he's a man who needs no introduction, often imitated, never duplicated. The inimitable one, the one and only, the American gangster. There he is. Yeah, the bad guy in the house.
What is up,
Hello,
Ariel?
Chael. Come on, bring it in.
I love
my
it.
God.
I love it. How are you, buddy? I sincerely missed you, pal. It really is very good to see you.
The double underhooks.
Are you going to Teddy Atlas's event?
I am. Are you going?
I didn't get invited, but I don't think it was a slide. I think because I went last year that Teddy was more of the. I think that he was more of the mind of, because it's hard to get there from Oregon.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
probably
yeah.
easier for you to be a return.
I think you stuck around.
I didn't get invited, but I'm not offended.
I'm bothered because I had such a great time. You, me, Liev Schreiber.
What was
we were
that
having-
like? Did you meet him?
Yes, I was sitting right next to you.
So,
It was.
I didn't know if you met him because I was.
You were hogging it up.
attention.
My favorite part was when you whispered to me and said, "What's that guy's name?" Yeah. I mean, this is Liev Schreiber, one of the all-time great Hollywood actors.
and I'm
big
a
fight
huge
fan too.
fan.
Yes.
I thought
Ray Donovan.
Yes.
I think you actually called him Ray.
No, there's another one. Michael Shannon is who I kept. So I kept calling him Michael. I thought it was Michael Shannon.
Okay.
I knew it was Lee. I knew it was. I got nervous.
You were actually fanboying.
He was cool, dude.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
was a regular guy. He was a regular guy. Good friends with Usyk.
That's right.
So
the
he knew
Ukrainian
all the
connection.
boxing
Yep.
stuff, and then he was sharing me with Usyk. Well, through being friends with Usyk, so he knows Zelensky. He knows the president
that's
of
right, that's
Ukraine.
right,
Like
yes.
all of a sudden, you're talking to this guy, and you're one step. It was just amazing. I just really enjoyed it, man. I told him that. I said, "Hey, I know I'm probably being a little annoying, but this is a big deal for me to meet you." And he was cool, man. He was cool.
This is great.
They're not all cool. They have that expression, don't meet people you like because you leave disappointed.
Yeah.
And it really is true. Most of them are real pricks. I've only met a few.
Not you.
Stallone was great.
Okay.
Robert De Niro might surprise you, but he treated us all so nicely that I feel like I owe him to tell,
Where did you
tell people.
Oh, the movie.
I did a movie.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Apolitical, by the way. I mean, De Niro did not have a political opinion at that time.
But now he does.
Yeah, now that's kind of changed.
But how would that even come up on set?
It actually came up. Funny you should ask. So I'm just there. Me and Goldberg are just there, but Stallone and De Niro are talking to each other.
Okay.
So we're listening.
What's this movie again? They're like the two older gentlemen.
Yeah, what was
fighting.
that called?
I forget.
Grudge match.
Grudge match.
Grudge
okay.
match. So Stallone versus De Niro.
Yeah.
They ultimately boxed each other. At any rate, there was an Academy Award or an Oscar the night before, and whoever went up made it political. So Stallone just made the comment to De Niro, "Hey, Bob," he says, hey, they shouldn't do that there. Republican or Democrat, but that's not the place. And De Niro he didn't really speak, but he nodded his head and agreed. And that was it.
Now he's saying he's leaving the country.
He was pissed, man.
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
cutting promos on Trump in the streets and...
The shutdown's over? Did it end?
No, but apparently they've made an agreement.
Okay.
Apparently, the stock market shot through the roof.
Right.
Last time this happened, and it doesn't mean it'll happen this time, but the phenomenon of the bounce is there. Last time this happened, for perspective, within 5 days after the government reopened, Bitcoin tripled, went up 300%. And we're seeing it with the stock market right as we speak. It's up 5-6% just on this news. But I don't think that's signed yet.
Are you a big Bitcoin guy?
I'm not a big Bitcoin guy, but I'm involved enough to know about Bitcoin. Okay. I got bigger into the altcoins.
What's that?
Altcoins is anything that isn't Bitcoin. Anything.
There's other coins?
Ethereum, Litecoin.
Okay. I didn't even know this.
Yeah. What just any coin not called Bitcoin is called an altcoin.
I love when you wake up at like 3:30 in the morning to watch the news,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
What time do you usually wake up?
It's actually 6:30. But
6:30,
because
okay.
6:30 in
Sometimes
East
you'll text
Coast
me
is
very early.
9:30. Yeah. So I'm up, but it takes me a little bit to wake up. So I got to get up and I got to get coffee, and then I can get back in bed, watch the news, and then I can see the market open. But I do that.
But my question is,
every day.
without getting too personal, you've shown me pictures like you're watching in bed.
Yes.
Doesn't this wake up your missus?
Miss Brittany.
Yeah.
Miss Brittany's an early bird.
Oh,
She
she's up
doesn't
as
sleep
well.
much. Yeah.
She's watching the news with you.
And then Priya, she's usually the one that gets our coffee, in fact. And then Priya our daughter, still sleeps in the room. Thero's moved into the living room.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Priya has she calls it a camping spot. She gets out every single night and she sets up a bed in our room.
On the floor?
Nah, she's actually a little move up from the floor. She's got kind
Really?
of like a cot but she puts it away every day. Every day gets it out, gets out her covers.
How come? She just wants to be close to mom and dad?
She's still scared. She's
How old is
7.
she? Okay.
So she still gets a little bit scared at night, which I'm into. I used to have both of them in the room. And he one day moves out, but with no warning. He doesn't say like, "Hey, I'm kind of getting to the age." One day he was gone, and it was so disappointing. Every night was fun. Every
Nice,
night
yes.
we go to bed.
I like it.
You do your prayers, you watch, you read a book or whatever. And then one day it was just gone. It was just taken from me. I wasn't ready for it.
And now he's in the living room.
He's in the living room.
Like
he
on the
has not
couch?
gone upstairs. Yes, he's on the couch in the living room.
What?
Yes.
He doesn't
Big
have a
TV
bedroom?
on, and he falls asleep. This is not a political. He falls asleep to Fox News every single night. Every single night.
Wait, how old
a year
is he?
ago, he went as Trump for Halloween.
Oh, nice.
Well, in our neighborhood, yeah.
Did it go over well? Or
Not
No.
terribly.
No.
Not terribly well. There was only one guy in the whole neighborhood that advertised, but he was one of the. He like had the signs in the yard. Anyone but Trump and
Oh, dear.
Kamala Harris signs in the yard. So that's the first one that Thera went to, and he's got like the $8 mask from Amazon. But then he's got the tie and all of that, and then he took the time to take Britney's lipstick and put like it was blood on the ear.
Oh, dear.
So when he goes and knocks on the neighbor's door, the neighbor realizes I'm being heckled. He realizes you've seen my signs and you've picked me, and he loved it. The neighbor was awesome.
Oh, he was okay with it?
Oh, he complimented it. He said he gave him double candy. Like, he steered into it, but it was cool.
How did that dinner go? By the way, I believe your father-in-law's here.
Yeah, Steve's
Hello,
here
sir.
somewhere.
How are you?
Yeah.
We were talking. I was like, man, Chael's just hanging out in the big city with his father-in-law.
We've been having a great time.
Just the two of you.
Yeah. We came out here.
I don't know if I would do that, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I don't come to New York without. He turns out he's a New York guy.
Okay.
He's from a small town just like I am. He lives across the bridge in Vancouver. I'm in West Lynn. He comes here one time. He's like, I love it. And then he doesn't sleep. He sleeps like 3.5 hours a day. So it's the only place where at 4 a.m. he can go get a coffee and actually, walk around and watch the sun come up. So I told him, I said, I'll never go to New York without you. In fact, Glenn Jacobs invited him. Glenn left ESPN and still got Steve a ticket.
Wow.
I don't know if Glenn's going to the event, and he made sure Steve was handled.
Unbelievable.
True story.
You always come with either your mom, your father-in-law. You never fly solo.
I'm in high demand.
Okay, yes.
And I don't ever want there to be a rumor.
Okay.
I don't ever want Brittany to have to live with the rumor. So yes, I try to never leave town without her dad, or my mom.
Is that true?
I try to.
Wow.
Just on the mere fact that I
High
wouldn't
demand.
want her to. I just wouldn't want her to hear.
You mean like high demand as in like people want a piece?
No, there's girls out there. They're looking,
Yeah, no.
No, but I'm just saying, like, there's weird things that happen. I just think
On the
it's
road,
safe.
yeah.
I think it's safer to have a witness. I just do.
I love it.
Call
I
me
love it.
whatever you want. But yeah.
It's great to have you in here, Chael.
It is great to be here.
makes
I
me
love
think-
these. I love that Daniel's got a singlet on, by the way.
Yeah, we have one of you somewhere.
All right, so this is Dusty Rhodes.
What about this? This is old school.
I
Round
love
5. Do you remember round 5?
Oh, yeah. So I bought that. You can't buy your own statue or you're a fool. But I did. I bought my own, and I've got it.
This one, the round 5?
Yeah, it's in
Yep.
my office. It's sitting on the other side. I mean, I got it. It came in the mail. I sat it on the other side of the room. I think someday my kids might want this. And months go by, and I'm finally working on my computer one day, and I look across the room. Not only is it not me, it's Dominic Cruz. But I thought it was me.
Yes.
I had this thing for months and thought that is how much we looked.
Yes. I
alike
remember.
in
I
it.
have
I
that
thought it was
one.
me.
I have the. We got the British Bulldogs over here. Remember them?
Story.
What?
Oh, I love the British.
What about that story?
No, I got to tell you a story. So you got
Okay.
Dusty Rhodes, right?
Yes. Dusty.
Okay, but there's another guy that kind of looks like Dusty, kind of like I look like Dominic, called the Playboy Buddy Rose.
Yes.
You happen to remember
Legend,
him?
of course, from Oregon.
Okay. Thank you very much. So Matt Linlin starts a show.
That's a great call right there.
called, yeah.
That's a great
He'd love
call
it if
right
we
there.
answered that. He'd love to be on this.
Do you think he knows you're on right now?
He knows I was coming on. Did he take the time to do the math that it's right now? That I don't know.
Can we say who it is?
Yeah, sure.
Say it.
Douglas Crosby. Why did you?
Notorious. Well, I didn't know if you want to go to.
Famous
Infamous.
judge.
Infamous?
Infamous will work.
Okay, all right.
He could live with infamous.
Is he still judging?
He judged 2 nights ago. Steve and I went to it. It was a fight out on Long Island.
Okay.
Yeah, he did. He did a small show out there. He did not get assigned to the UFC, and of course, all judges would like to. He did not get assigned, but he is licensed. If that answers your question and working. So, Playboy Buddy Rose.
Buddy Rose.
Okay, store that away. Portland, Oregon. Matt Linlin. Matt's doing a show called Sport Fight.
Remember.
So Matt decides he's going to bring in Playboy Buddy Rose, who's going to do nothing more than get in the ring and cut an interview, whatever. So Playboy demands $1,500 for this gig, and by the way, needs it in advance. So Lindley gives him a check for $1,500. After the event, there was a line, and it was really honor system. You waited in line, you got to the front, there was one bookkeeper. She's like, what do we owe you? And then she just write you a check. Honor system, but nobody lies. Playboy got back in the line and went and he got another $1,500.
Oh, my God.
So Matt, instead of just chalking up to 15, Matt sues him, and they end up in small claims court. Now, Playboy doesn't deny any of these facts. He agrees to the facts, but he tells the judge, this is the point of me telling the whole story, he tells the judge, he signed the check. I got this fair and square. And the judge is like, no, you ripped him off. But fair and square. He tried to argue that. Judge rules against him for $1,500. Lindland says, how do I get the money? And the judge says, oh, there's no way. And then the judge goes even further and he tells Matt, he goes, it's not a crime in America to not pay your bills. And he brings the gavel down, they all get up and walk out.
And he never got it.
No, he never got it.
Legend.
He never,
a real worker.
And now he died. Rest his soul, but he died.
He did. Yes.
He was most famous. He did an angle with Piper, and it was whoever wins gets the pink Cadillac. The other guy won.
Is this in Oregon wrestling?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they kayfabed it.
Wow.
And I think Playboy's the one with the pink Cadillac. So no, Piper had it. So then Playboy beat him, and Playboy drove around Portland in the pink Cadillac for a week. But that was the old school days.
Yeah,
That's
I love
the days
those.
I miss, by the way.
Oh my God, those were the territories.
Yeah.
Did you know Piper?
I'm not as dead set on tradition as Josh Barnett, but I'm close. I agree with Josh. You don't need to let us in on all these secrets, guys.
Okay,
it
with
was
the
fun.
Unreal and all
Yeah.
that. How the sausage is made.
Yeah.
Did you know Piper?
Yes, I did. His son, Colt Toombs.
That's right.
Was a teammate at Team Quest. Did a number of fights and fought at the Roseland, and Piper would come down and support him. And
Wow.
I mean, we thought it was a huge deal, but they didn't understand why we thought it was a big deal. Like, Colt's just like, why do you want to talk to my dad? You know, he didn't understand. So, yeah, we got some interviews with him. Piper got in the ring and did some stuff. Piper was cool. Piper gave me a piece of advice.
Please.
I never forgot it because it turned out to be true. And everybody hated me. And I was going for I'm going to work this bad guy gimmick, and that's easy to come on and tell you, oh, I didn't mind the booze. It's hard to be hated. It's hard. And he told me, he said, Chael, you got to stick with it. And he said, and don't ever change. He said, but there will be a day that they will love, meaning the fans, they will love you for the exact same things they hate you for. He said, there's a misunderstanding with the crowd in wrestling that we do these turns. He said it's actually the crowd that turns. We, as performers, largely continue the same gimmick. We just get a different reaction. And that is psychologically not what I thought I was witnessing. I did think there was good guys and bad guys, and I realize it's not an absolute statement, but that was what he said to me, and then it did happen to me. People that hated me for the same stuff would all of a sudden they
And it became
was
cool to be a fan of yours.
Yeah, when I'm telling them, I hate them, and I hate you, I hate this whole country, blah blah blah. Then all of a sudden, I never came off the stick, but they did come on board. It was one
You
thing
remember that
Piper
shift?
said that I appreciated.
You remember when that happened?
Not fully, but I do remember when it happened, and even still to this day, like I just lost or misunderstanding, but allegedly I lost to Craig Jones in this grappling match. But I had people telling me, like Joseph Morales sends me a text, and he's like, Coach, that was incredible defense. I never thought to do that to get out of the hold, which is to go uncautious. So, but I mean, you see, well, they're now in on the stick. I'm claiming that I'm undefeated.
It's brilliant.
And stuff, and now they're claiming, like Joseph is telling me, that was great, Coach. He let you go. Like that was brilliant. I've never seen that before. I don't know if I told that story very well, but
No.
it's nice to see you, by the way.
He had a nice win.
Hey, why is nobody talking about Islam versus Jack? Are you feeling that in this city this is a little bit low?
I want to get to that in a moment,
Sure.
but while we're on the topic of your influence, I'm dying to ask you
Nice
this.
to see you, buddy.
It's-
I missed
it's
you. On a friendly level, I've missed you.
I
Thank you
missed
for
you
having
too.
me.
We had some great times. The
thank you.
charcuterie back at the events. Imagine you lived in this area. We could do this every week.
Wouldn't that be
Would you
great?
ever consider moving?
No, I would never leave West. I'm about to run for governor.
I
Yeah.
know. You
No,
and
I'm doing the
Chris
opposite
Dudley.
of moving.
Did you have that dinner, by the way?
I did. I met Chris Dudley.
How'd it go? Have you officially made your decision?
No. Well, I'm hoping to this way. It's a simple matter of do I get brought over or not. I made a deal with Dana and told him, hey, if
When do you
if
find
I'm
out?
part of this, I will go. But in exchange, then I want your help to win the.
Sure. When do you
Anyway.
find out?
Well, I just assume that it might be this week or soon. I mean, they're kicking off in January. I don't think that Paramount has set a date, have they?
No.
There's a rumor that Ilya is going to headline.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sure
yeah.
you
Yeah, yeah.
know that whether that's right or not. But I don't know that date. But the bottom line is, if we're going to do something, I would feel like they need to put their team together pretty quick. So
What would you rather do?
Well, I am for sure going to run for governor, for sure. But I didn't know it was going to be this cycle. I did think that I was going to run in the next cycle. Now that from a political standpoint is almost a death nail of an answer. I mean, you've got to give an answer. There is nothing more important than this. I've got a calling from God, and I've got, like, this is the thing. But I kind of get annoyed when guys do that. It's like, you can tell the truth. If you're looking to pitch in and help out, but you need timing to be right for you and your family, I don't think there's anything shameful about saying that.
Why open yourself up to this?
Why?
Yeah,
I
why?
agree.
Yeah, why?
When I was talking with Ray Donovan, he said that to me.
He did?
He said, I brought it up to him.
Okay.
Meaning, hey, down the road, I'm going to need a donation. Like, I was letting him know. Like, I'm letting you know now.
Wow.
If you
At
give
that
me
same
your
dinner?
Yeah. If you give me your phone number, there's going to be a day, and it's going to cost you money. So I let him know.
Okay.
And he said that, too. He said, hey, you got a great life. He
Yeah.
said, why would you do that? And I've never had the answer to that. I've always thought that was the field I was going to go into. As young as I can remember, on the first day of school, they would have us write down what we're going to be when we grew up. And I would always write, President of the United States. And then at some point, I realized I didn't want to go to D.C., and I just started writing down governor. So I've never known there was going to be a day that I was not going to be in that battle.
Really?
I've been planning for this from day one.
And your wife's okay with this? Because now it opens up the whole family.
Yeah,
and
no,
people
it's
are
a little
coming
bit
after
of a
you
problem
guys.
with her. And then when Charlie Kirk got shot,
geez.
that really weighed on her. And she will back me, and I of course will take her opinion as well. But no, to tell you that she's just okay with it, no. This keeps her up at night. She's very concerned about
She'd rather not?
our family and things in Oregon, and she just thinks the way that I would go about it would be more of the Charlie Kirk, the more very aggressive. Here's our stance, and we're proud of it, and we're not going to say sorry. And she thinks that could open you up to danger, which is a very real concern.
Historically, Oregon Democrat or
Very blue. Very, very blue.
Okay.
In my lifetime, and tell people I'm 50, I'm not, but I'm right there. In my lifetime, there has been one Republican
Wow.
winner. Yeah.
So this would be a huge deal.
It'd be a very big deal, and it's hard to do. It's a very hard state to flip. And then I got like a personal problem, which is the gal that I would have to beat is named Tina Kotek. I like her. That's a problem. That's a problem. Like, these things get ugly. I've never met her, Ariel, but you want to talk about somebody that goes in and does the job she was elected to do. You want to talk about somebody that puts in 50, 60 hours a week and doesn't complain. Let me tell you something real fast. She's the first, and I believe she's the only, openly lesbian governor in America. Do you know the attention she could get for that? Do you know how she could be on CNN every night? She has never used that. She has never used that politically. She has never brought her wife out. She keeps her business. She goes in and does her job, and I think it's very honorable. I happen to disagree with what she does, but that will make the fight tough.
Okay.
I respect her.
No. I mean,
agree.
you don't hear that often.
No, it's a problem.
But how do you then?
You were asking me about Chris Dudley, and somehow
Yeah.
I got on Tina, but Chris is very interesting too. He was in my living room. My Uncle Mel Counts was, a big star in the NBA
Yeah.
just before Chris, and I thought Chris did a very great job. Chris is pro-choice. That's very tough for any Republican, but in a state like Oregon, where you're going to need to win some blue votes, it is also a very common opinion that might be the way to reach across the aisle. So.
Okay.
I liked Chris Dudley, I guess is my answer. I'm jumping in directions, but I liked him.
We're going all over the place. I was trying to get Josh Hokit. You familiar with this young man?
Of course.
Okay. I want to play this for you.
Please.
He's actually coming on after you, but I want to get your reaction.
I only heard about it. I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it?
No, and you posted something.
Yes,
You posted
yes,
something,
yes.
and I clicked it, but I didn't get to hear the interview.
All right, here it is.
I watched him finish. You go.
Josh wins Contender Series.
Here we go.
First official win in the UFC this Saturday.
Yep.
He gets on the microphone and says this.
All right, here we go.
I'm the talk of the town, the USA sound, the most profound, the boy toy, the lady's joy, the master of disaster, the truth speaking pastor's pastor, the biggest arm, the most charm,
Tell him.
the one that's gonna do all the harm. I'm more than meets the eye. I'm even sweeter than your grandma's homemade apple pie. And last, I'll leave you with this.
Homemade.
I already stomped 2 Brazilians, and I'm looking for a 3rd.
Whoa.
Walter Walker,
Oh.
you absolutely suck.
Okay.
That's a hard call out right there.
But yo, that is you.
Yeah, he did fantastic.
There's
He did
multiple
fantastic,
references.
Yes.
So what'd you think? What'd you think?
And I, of course, I got inspired by other people. But okay, if he was paying me some homage there, Steve and I were out doing something, whatever. We were at the fight that Douglas was.
Right.
Okay, it's all tying together. So Steve and I are getting updates, and Obon Elliott starts reaching hold of me, and he goes, "Hey man, if you say this guy's in the club, I'm reaching out to him to let him know." So I'm like, "All right, let me call Colby. Let me get, we got this little bad guy group going on." So anyway, the bottom line was everybody gave him the thumbs up, man. I'm on board with this guy.
You know him personally?
I followed his career because he was a wrestler at Fresno State, who
right.
All-American while playing a full season of football. He wasn't even supposed to wrestle. Not only did he wrestle, he All-American, and it wasn't because he was good. It's because he was tough. I remember watching him. He fought so hard, and he outworked those other guys, and I just happened to remember that. Then he did a smaller fight. I want to say they put it on Fight Pass, and he cut a kind of a similar promo. He brought some politics into it. He had the flag, which is just going to piss people off. And I thought from an entertainment standpoint, I thought he really went for it. I think he did a good job there. Hey, what about the homemade pie? It doesn't have to be homemade.
Yeah.
From an artistic standpoint, he could have just said sweeter than your grandma's pie. Why's it got to be a homemade pie? That's brilliant. No, that's brilliant, though.
So delivery, what about the delivery?
That's what I'm saying.
You know, we sit here, we sit here and break it down, but after a fight, to remember all of that, you just won, that's not easy. No stumbling.
Right.
Didn't miss a line. Everything flowed and rhymed.
Well, and Paul can screw him at any point.
Right.
At any point, Paul can pull that mic away. So first off, you got the hand on Paul, letting him know, stay with me.
Yes.
Second, you got to get the scarf on. You got to get the glasses on. You got to know where the angle is, and then you got to go for. You start calling out Brazil. I just beat up 2 Brazilians and another one, and you suck. Those are dangerous lines. I mean, they just are. And Walker is a good fighter, by the way. I hope he does get
the problem
that
is
fight.
It's at the Apex. There's 3 people there. There's no
That's the
pub.
problem.
You know, you do your call out of Anderson in Houston, sold out Toyota Center.
Sure.
There's a different reaction.
Sure. But he still went for it.
He went for it.
And
but
what did you tweet at? You said I mess with it.
I fucks with it. That's what the kids say. Yeah. But then I said 3 people. It's like
I've read the whole thing.
It doesn't land the same. You know.
But his going for it, he gets the same credit.
We're talking about him. He'll be on the show today in large part due to that.
There you go. There you go.
Can he beat Walter Volkmann?
Well, see, that's the thing, and that's the thing that I think I admire the most is he is in over his head.
Yeah.
But I respect, if you're going to call a guy out and you're going to go pick on a guy, I think it's honorable to pick on a guy that's better, and he can raise himself up. That's one thing about him. I saw some of his other fights before he got in the UFC. Then I saw his Contender Series in here. One thing about it is he is growing rapidly. Remember when Adesanya did that? Izzy comes on Contender Series and was I think it was even a split decision, and take him down and hold him there, and that was like the belief. And then in his next fight, they took him down, but he got up. And then in his next fight, he's in there with Derek Brunson at the Garden, and he doesn't get taken down at all. And then his next fight, he becomes the #1 contender, and then becomes a champion of the world. I mean, like if anybody had grown between fights, but I'm seeing a little about this gentleman
How does that
right
make
here.
you feel
It's really
internally?
growing.
Like
Wonderful.
there's a guy paying homage to you.
Yeah, it made me feel wonderful. Yes.
It's an amazing feeling.
Yes. When I did that to some guy, by the way, it didn't all make them feel good. Like Scott Hall came after me and, rest his soul, but said that I should be 10%.
Oh, yeah.
And Billy Graham I got a hold of, but and that was through Brian McMahon put us in contact, but Billy was in a senior living, and apparently he was upset until we talked, and then he took it as a compliment. There was a guy called Lynn Denton, the grappler.
Okay.
And he was probably the only guy that got it and was like, yeah, take it, of course. I took from someone, you take from someone's going to steal it from you. And I think that should be more of the attitude. Because to your point, it's homage. It's not ripping someone off.
It's respect.
Homage.
Yes.
I agree, totally
It's not like if you were an active fighter right now and he's stealing your gimmick while you're active, okay, now this is
Goldberg Austin. Very different.
Yeah. This is a tip of the cap. Who's a part of this bad
when
guy
those
club?
terrible Road Warriors ripped off Demolition. What a terrible thing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Axe and Smash. Yeah. Who's part of the bad guy
Greatest tag team ever.
club?
Obon Elliott.
Yeah.
Colby Covington.
Yeah. And he's in.
New guy. Oh, yeah.
He's in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. There was a vote.
Wow.
There was a vote.
Does he know this?
Yeah, Obon let him know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, they're pals.
Yeah.
Oban and Colby, they get along?
Oh, yeah.
They don't
I don't know that they've ever met.
Okay.
But they're forced. They're forced
In the
to
text
get along.
group.
Yes. Like, hey, Colby, just so you know, you got this guy's back.
He's in.
Yeah, he's in. He's like, hey, no problem.
The guy in the main event,
Colby's great. Is Colby going to fight again?
Well, that's the thing. The guy in the main event, Gabriel Bonfim, called him out. And I said it's the biggest waste of a call out of all time.
Yes.
You win in a main event, you call out Colby Covington. Not because I think Colby's afraid of him. He ain't fighting Gabriel Bonfim, right?
No.
So it's a
Colby's
waste.
still a star. Colby can get on Fox News right now. I mean, when you have guys like that, you remember what Ronda did, but they couldn't do anything with Ronda but main event her because she could get on Ellen's couch. Like, you just have to use that. Colby's got massive power. I don't know what he wants to do, even on a friendly level. When
You haven't asked him?
Yes, I have. And he is not retired from fighting, but I'm just sharing, like, longer term, if he has political aspirations. I wonder that, and I think that perhaps that he does.
You think so?
Yeah, I think perhaps he does. There was something going on. He and I had an opportunity. There was an event. I don't know a lot about it, but it ultimately was John Jones versus Nate Diaz. Do you remember that they were
yeah.
against each other
in Thailand for a Russian?
But for a Russian, they filmed in Thailand, but it was Russian.
They asked you.
Colby and I had that opportunity, and I'm trying to think if Colby was the head coach and it was going to be against Masvidal, or if I was the coach against Anderson and they were going to bring in Masvidal, whatever it was. Colby stopped me it was very good pay, and he stopped me early and said, "Hey, with what's going on with Russia and Ukraine, I'm out.
Stay out of it."
Yeah,
okay.
I'm not
And so then you didn't do it.
But I took that as a clue. Oh, Colby's he's for him to not want to be involved just purely, we're going to film it in time just because it was the Russians and what's going on with that war, just made me think. Okay, he sees a bigger picture than most.
Okay. So then you brought up earlier 322. You don't feel buzz?
No, I don't.
Nothing.
No, and I don't mean
Islam
it as an
JDM. It's a
I don't
great
mean it as an
card.
insult. Here's something I learned from you, and you said it about Khabib, but you were talking about Khabib, and you said he's the world's most famous Muslim athlete.
Yes.
I think in his absence, that probably got passed on to Islam, or at least right there.
To a degree, yep.
So perhaps they're marketing it in a way, because it's sold out. It's absolutely packed business. They got a huge gate waiting for almost $20 million that they're going to get ready to announce. But I'm just sharing with you, the places I go, no, it's not.
Why do you think that is?
It's not the buzz. Well, one of my guesses is because maybe they did go to a different crowd than a different marketing than I personally feel. Secondly, where are we at with ESPN at the helm, but Paramount coming in all fairness? Third,
just to expand on that momentarily, do you think it's a bit lame duck in that ESPN isn't as incentivized to promote because we're approaching the end of the deal? Is that what you're referring to? Yes.
I haven't actually experienced that or seen that where I can tell you, hey, we canceled.
No, I mean,
we list out on that.
It's almost over.
But perhaps because
only 4 events left.
Feel it's a little bit small. Yeah, and only 2 on pay-per-view, by the way. So, but then meanwhile they've got this great big gate. The gate record used to be 17.4 million. Conor versus Alvarez, first time UFC played New York. I don't know for sure that they're going to beat that, but they're expecting to beat that. They're expecting to be able to announce a 20 million, which is a big deal because Espinoza ran his mouth to Dana one time about 20 million, and so now Dana just wants $20 million to stick it to Espinoza, who I believe is even out of the business, but Dana doesn't forget things. Yeah. But Dana but now he wants 20. Espinoza says something about you can't get $20 million gates, and Dana's like, I'm getting $20 million gates anyway. What do you think of this gambling stuff? That's the hottest thing.
Okay, you want to talk about that?
In the MMA world right now. Oh, hey, I got to tell you something.
Well, okay.
I'm sorry.
There's like a million different topics. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I
locked you up for 2 hours.
This is important. So I had made a piece the other day on my own YouTube channel about Drakkar Close. And Drakkar had made a statement, and I only read it. And he said, hey, for FBI, if you want to pay me a reward, I'll tell you a bunch of guys that have been interested in fixing fights. So I made a piece on that. And he got a hold of me and goes, hey, that was a joke. I was completely joking. The guy that printed it knew I was joking, which is why he chose to print it instead of play. I'm joking. I don't know anything about any gambling. And he said, and I said, well, do you want me to do a correction piece? And he goes, well, you don't have to. He goes, but this is pretty serious with the FBI and Dana. And I just don't want Dana thinking that I'm going to making light of this. I'm not making light of it. I should have said it, but I was kidding. It's like, hey, I'm going to let Ariel know that.
Okay.
So there's my message.
Probably
that just
something
came in right now.
Probably something you shouldn't joke about, though.
Sure.
Stay away from that one.
Yeah, but that there are, yes, for sure. But you can see where where that lesson could be.
Sure.
Somebody did that. That's like a famous book that you have to read in high school where this guy goes, he's arguing with another guy. He goes, I'm going to kill you. And then later that night, that guy gets killed. And so they convict this guy. They go, well, there are all these witnesses. And he said, I was going to kill you. He's like, no, that's I'm mad at you. I'm going to kill you. I'm mad at you.
So what do you make of this?
So I'm just saying, yes, maybe it's something you shouldn't joke about, but let's show some grace to
Okay,
people.
all right. Bulgarian, the betting, the line moves.
I talked to Ian Parker.
Okay.
who knows these numbers better than I do.
Sure.
When my dad used to bet through a bookie, it was straight up. I'm taking the Patriots or I'm taking the Saints, and then there was points, 3.5 points, and that was it. Now you live in this world of prop bets. And if you are looking to scam things, the prop bets sure do make it easy to do. I mean, they make it very easy to hide. Now, of course, I'm bringing in the Chauncey Billups, and I'm bringing in some of the NBA stuff where who wins the tip-off and who scored first. And
I was going to say, how do you know Chauncey Billups? But now I remember
neighbor.
Portland.
21 miles. I've actually never met the man,
Okay.
but I know 20 people that know
Okay,
the man, that are good friends with the man.
Trailblazers, yeah.
And by the way, that thing's starting to change just a little bit too. I think we might need to have a little more open eye. Let him tell his side. But that thing is starting to change. It's now come out that he attended a card game.
Yeah.
Well, that's very different than when they said they were bringing people in and he was doing this for years and he's working for the mob. Now it turns out that he attended a card game. That's very different than what we were initially told. At any rate, it's not good. I think that it's very serious. They did a hatchet job on Dana the other day. They tried to bring in his own. So, local Nevada
Oh, really?
did an actual hatchet where they started talking about, that he plays in the casinos. And as a matter of fact, he's got a debt to a casino.
No, this was the Hollywood Reporter, I think.
He plays on limb. None of this is a secret. Come on. He tells everybody. And whatever is going on, I think that I'll just share with you. I don't know anything about it, and even by rumor, Ariel. I've never been around guys that are joking or talking or whispering about fixing a fight. Never.
You've never
Not
heard
even as
this?
No, have you?
Well, I've talked to a lot of people now.
Okay.
And several of them have told me that people have come up to them, whether it's via phone, via text, DM, or even at the gym, and said, hey, I got 100K. Would you be interested in doing X, Y, and Z? Now, everyone that I've talked to, it's now approached like 10 or so people, because now that I'm talking about it, people are reaching out. And they have all said, I would never do that.
Yeah.
But who are the ones that would consider? I will say the Derek Minner one from 3 years ago seemed very suspect, and this one seemed very suspect. The guy who had never lost via stoppage is a pretty big favorite, and all of a sudden a slew of bets come in, him to lose via submission in the first round, and guess what? He loses via submission in the first round. Did you watch the fight?
Yeah, I remember too.
Did you think it was a little bit funky?
Yeah, but then something had come out where his knee was blown out or something.
No, that was the one from 3 years ago. I'm talking about the one from last week.
All right.
Last week, he goes for the takedown, but he doesn't actually follow through. He just stays on his knees.
And the choke.
And then the choke, yeah.
Yes.
The weird thing about it is, a disciple of James Krause.
Yeah.
James was tied to the story from 3 years ago, banished from the sport, never to be heard from again. FBI still investigating.
How brutal. All on speculation, because they never followed through on that. They're
still investigating.
Well, I hope they call it good. Whether he did it or not, I mean, he's paid. It's like, I hope they listen. You guys do not have to follow through and take him to court. You ruined that man. His gym is gone. His friends are gone. He has lost everything. You're good. You pound of flesh, you got it. Leave
for the
James
UFC,
alone.
this is a big deal, of
course,
right? The integrity of the sport.
And they're playing very above board.
Oh, I have no doubt.
The FBI instantly. There was some heat, Ariel, that Dana had taken because the FBI had told him like 2 hours before this went down, which in theory would give Dana the opportunity to cancel the fight. Yeah. And he did not cancel it, and he took some heat for that, and I thought that was very unfair.
Well, okay, so why do you think that's unfair? Because
you've got
know
contracts with athletes, and you don't know that anything's wrong. You know that there's something amiss by whoever is looking at these things. And you're getting a phone call from somebody very reputable. So now you go to your athlete, and Dana has a history of 30 years that he backs his athlete. So he went to the athlete and said, "Hey, are you in trouble? Do you owe somebody money? Are you being shaken down? Are you planning to fix this fight?" He asked him. Guy said, absolutely not. I'm going to kick this guy's ass. Dana trusted his guy, and Dana's got a history of that. And then to come out and question Dana when he's the one that made it public, I thought that was a little underhanded. How would you handle that situation? Would you pull the fight with no other information than a phone call that something looks
Well, it's from it's from a third party,
Agreed.
Betting integrity service. Eddie Hearn was faced with this same predicament in June of 2024, and they pulled the fight.
He did.
Yeah. Now,
I would assume different numbers, though, right? Boxing, it always seems to be very different numbers.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Someone told me, because I brought this up, someone told me that they think that they actually followed through with it to almost like weed out. Because if you pull the fight and the fight doesn't play out, you don't get to actually see it play out. Now you don't know if there's an actual issue. You let it play out. It's a bit of a black eye. on the event, on the sport, whatever. But now you know, okay, now we've zeroed in on something. You almost let the crime play out, so to speak. And that was the theory. Because I will admit, I didn't knock them for it, but I did openly question, if you are getting this information and if it's that blatant, why not just pull the fight? Pay the other dude for his troubles, you know, the opponent who had nothing to do with it, and just pull the fight. I don't ultimately know. I don't envy them. This is a tough spot.
That's right. I'm the
very
same
easy.
way. I
Very easy to
believe
throw
it's a
MMA
tough
fights,
call.
by the way. Way easier than boxing, in my opinion.
Yes.
Get submitted.
Yes.
Like, who's to check?
And I'd be curious, like on Eddie Hearn's fight, if that was a main event or not. I don't know a lot about that. But let's just say it was a multi-million-dollar fight. He's still got to pay them. If he wants to pull it and he says, because he got this information, I mean, to your point, if it hadn't happened, it hadn't happened. I mean, I kind of understand the UFC's perspective of they got the news, they went and asked the guy, they took the guy at his word. He did a training camp. He's their guy. He said no.
So you don't think this is some big epidemic that is going to...
Well, I think in the future they probably will cancel the fight. I think that you hit it on the head of saying, hey, this was a learning experience, but no one knew at the time how to handle that. We're still debating it now. I think in the future he's probably going to have to pull the fights. But can I tell you something? I'm sorry to cut you off, but if you do much gaming, if you go up to Caesars, you go up to MGM, you got the real sports book, the real guys. If I go up there with $10,000, I have to get special approval. They got to come out. Now, they'll let me make the bet. I could make a $100,000 bet, but not without approval and paperwork. Online, it used to be a $500 limit. Let's just say, and that's from 2001. Let's say it's quadrupled. We have a $2,000 limit. So these people that are coming in with stories that somebody's placing an online wager of $250,000, I challenge that. I do not believe that any sports book is taking that kind of action. And just so you understand, on an entire undercard of a UFC, you might have a $250,000 bet. Every way you can do it, every prop bet head in the entire undercard. Now they're saying that one fight got a $250,000 from some Playboy offshore. I have a hard time believing that. I'd like to know who it was, and I'd like to know what sports book took the action.
So, but larger,
that doesn't seem like a trick question.
No. But but you're saying if you're the UFC, you're not sweating right now. You're not thinking that this is a virus plaguing our company. That's what I'm wondering about.
Well, yeah, probably. I think that you take that
real
serious.
Okay.
Yeah, when you're in a sport. I mean, don't forget you're in Las Vegas, which survives on game, and don't forget the history of the UFC. It was bought by gamblers. One of the biggest sponsors. Yes, you would take that very serious. And now you've got the FBI calling. Yes, you would take that extremely serious. And then to your point, you'd probably go to a third party, think, how are we going to monitor this? You'd put the word out to anyone listening, which is a scare tactic, and that makes people stop. Yeah, I think the UFC is probably doing everything right, and I think they're definitely going to nip this in the bud.
Because once people start to, like, not trust the promotion. This happened to boxing, right? Mm-hmm. When people are like, this fight was fixed, or these judges are in on it. Once people start to lose trust in the promotion and the sport, it's a very slippery slope, in my opinion. Like, you have to nip this in the bud.
Yes.
You have to clean house. You have to ban anyone who's associated. You have to come out and say this is like zero tolerance whatsoever.
100%. And there's a little bit of a history of that. Dana had brought somebody over. And the story's been told both ways, and frankly, I've never known if it. Paul Heyman and Jim Ross is how the story was always told. But he brought them over, and they were going to help sit in the room when they would do fighter interviews. So,
really?
Yeah, they used to sit in a room, and then they would ask you questions to a camera, and then they would edit that later and then play that to the house before the guys walked out. It was BJ Penn in a room. And the way the Jim Ross, Paul Heyman, was telling him what to say so he could piece it together with this other story. So BJ's looking at the camera and he's cutting this promo, and it made BJ look pretty bad. When they put it out, BJ was the bad guy, the other guy was a good guy. That was pro wrestling. BJ didn't like that it made him look bad, and he came and told the whole world, those weren't even my words. They had a guy sitting in the room that used to be with WWE, and I didn't even think those things as a way of covering for it. And Dana so badly did not ever want confusion that we could possibly be looking like that he fired him and never went back to that, and no athlete was ever again told what to say in a pre-fight interview. So, and I'm just sharing, now you're talking about gaming that could actually make it look the integrity. That's the bounds that Dana went to just for an interview. So yes, of course they're taking this very seriously, and of course they will nip this in the bud.
Isn't it funny? Now he's under the same umbrella. as WWE.
It is very funny.
Which I always kind of feel like he doesn't feel 100% comfortable with every time he tries to distance himself from it.
There's even been a little bit of like when this very first happened, they all thought that they had to be buddies. And WWE's like, we'll be bringing fighters over. And then we'll be sending them over there. And he was like, no, we're not. We're not bringing any of your guys. We're not sending you any guy. You do your thing and we'll do our thing. Well, you sell tickets and we'll sell tickets. Dana did not play along with that at all. He did not ever want there to be any confusion that what I am putting on is a straightforward competition as opposed to a participation.
I saw on your YouTube channel, did you say that like you just found out this week that Valentina is fighting Zhang on this card?
Yeah.
How's that possible?
Yeah, how's that possible?
I think that's my most anticipated fight on the card.
Yeah. Is that right?
Yeah.
It's definitely an interesting one.
Why do you think that is? It was announced like 3 months ago.
I got to tell you, I would love to meet the Bullet. I think she is...
You've never met her?
No. I think she is so pretty. I think she is so talented. They say that she speaks 7 languages. She's a world champion in unarmed combat, but by reputation, she's a master of armed combat. Her mother's a badass. Her sister's... I mean, I like everything about this gal, but Ariel, it doesn't change the fact. She has a record that is unlikely to ever be broken in my lifetime. Nobody has fought for more world championships in co-main events. And I don't mean close. She's like quadrupled the next closest thing. There has never been somebody defending or contesting a world title in a non-main event more than her. And now all of a sudden we got the situation where Wei Li leaves a division, which is supposedly the forbidden fruit of the UFC. And when it does happen, something special happens, whether that's Ilia Topuria, whether that's Islam Makhachev. We've got Wei Li did the same thing. She leaves a division in shambles to the point that Roas Jr. and Dern's got to go in and battle that. And so it's one of these situations where... and now I find out that it's happened. I find out that this is going down this week, and it comes with a caveat that if it doesn't work out for Wei Li, she's just going to go back to 115 and challenge Dern. And I'm looking around going, I don't think this is my fault. I read all the press clipping. I do everything right. I think it's you girls. Somebody has screwed up here, and I don't take responsibility. The fact that the Bullet and Wei Li in what should be a super fight is 6 days away. I'm covering the event on a professional level, and there's not a billboard in town.
Yeah.
There's not a commercial in town. I had no champion versus champion, at least in theory, and I just found out that's not my fault. That's theirs. And she should be sitting down with her management team and having a real hard talk, and she should have done this 6 years ago. How am I a world champion, setting records, fighting in co-main events? Somebody should have to give her an answer to that question. Somebody here is to blame, and I truly don't think it's me.
I tried to get both on the show before the fight.
And they just weren't interested?
And they're not on the show.
The Bullet's very sweet, though, isn't she?
No, I love them both.
Yeah.
They're great.
I've never met her, but she seems very sweet.
I'm surprised you never met her. You never did like post-show or saw her at an event.
No.
I always feel like you had a bit of a feud with her, though.
Yeah. Based on nothing. She never did anything to me. I just got irritated. I'm saying, hey, girl, you got to step forward. And I think she's a heel. That's the other thing. I think
But
that
plays
she's
a face?
Yes, playing the face.
Yeah.
Dance, which is very cute, and maybe it works, but it's like, Valentina, I think you're a heel. She goes and does the Ultimate Fighter. She doesn't let her athletes drink water. That's a heel move. I don't think that she's a sweet girl. I don't think she's covered in tattoos and learned how to bash people's faces in cages with her elbows and knees because she's nice. I think she's got a dark side, and I think that that's the reason that she's a co-main event. I can't prove it. I don't know it to be true. But whatever she's doing, it's not working. And she should sit down with her trainers and her coaches. I mean, they say she's second generation and her mom does it. Her little sister's in the business. And nobody realized we're fighting for world titles, jerking curtains for a guy from Australia and a dude from the Caucasus region. I would never open a show for a dude from Australia, just so you understand.
Why not?
Ever.
Why not? Why not?
That's not a real country. They don't fight over there. They don't contest in the Olympic Games. They don't have any medals in judo, sambo, freestyle wrestling, Greco-Roman wrestling, boxing. That's not a combat-driven country. That's not real. You can't get a scholarship and go to a college for any combat form in Australia. It's not real. I'm going to jerk a curtain for a dude whose name's so complex we call him by his initials. That's never happened. And Ariel, I'm not the world champion.
Yeah.
She is. She's about to take on the biggest star out of China, they say, in a co-main spot to an Australian and a dude from the Caucasus region. On my watch, Never happening.
Do you think she should lean in and be like full heel?
She
Like,
should
just drop-
say what I'm saying to you right now.
yeah.
She should come out and cut a promo. I had a fight on an under. I mean, all I can do is personalize things, right?
Sure.
I can't make it about me, but it's all I can do. I'm going to fight Yushin Okami, who's ranked number 2 in the world. I'm ranked number 9 in the world. We're the second fight of the night. We're fighting at 3 o'clock, and I come on your show and I lose my mind. And I said there is no other 2 guys that are ranked in the top 10 on the entire card, aside from the main event. We're both ranked in the top 10, jerking the curtain for our parents at 3 o'clock that nobody's going to watch, and it's all because of him. He comes from this culture where it's about honor and it's not respectful to come on and talk some trash. We're going to beat each other up in a steel cage. We do not deserve to be the second fight of the night. I think in reality we were the third fight of the night. But you understand my point, and it did change things. And they never put me in that spot again.
Turning point.
Yeah, I never fought on anything that wasn't pay-per-view or main card again, but you had to ask for it. You might remember Dricus Duplessis.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be an undercard a couple of Decembers ago. They're going to debut Bo Nickel, and they're going to put Bo Nickel on the main card, and Dricus said, over my dead body. He's never done this before. I've done this 5 times successfully. I'll fight him. I don't care who the opponent is, but he's not debuting over me. And they switched it. Now, Bo, if you remember, he ended up getting hurt and came off the card, but they switched it, and they put Dricus on the main card, then they put him in a co-main event, and then he was world champion 3 fights later. All because he spoke up for himself. How is the Bullet allowing this to happen?
But co-main at MSG is not so bad.
I don't disagree, but 7 years of yes, you make a fair point for this one, but 7 years, and she's main evented I think 3 times in 7 all title fights. That girl is so wildly successful. She's the most successful girl not named Amanda Nunes. She's defended a belt more times than Amanda Nunes. She has more title fights than Amanda and Ronda put together. That might surprise you. She has quadrupled the next closest thing for co-main events.
Other fun thing about that fight against Yushin, non-televised, if you recall.
Yeah.
That was before every fight on the card was televised.
Yeah. You remember the Facebook prelims and the fight pass? No, we run none of those things.
Yeah.
Never happened.
That was the turning point.
Yeah, fight never happened. But I had to speak up for myself. Dricus had to speak up for himself. I don't know how the Bullet goes along and doesn't think it's a big deal.
How do you feel about Bo being on the prelims now? They said he was on the main card, then back to the prelims. First time I think he's on the prelims.
Yeah, and I wonder if there was any relation. I wonder if they got heat for putting him on the main card. Because they were getting heat for a while for the way they were carrying
Who cares, right?
Hey, he's a stud. RDR's a stud. I mean, that just shows you how difficult these divisions are. You know, that wasn't quite RDR against Allen. It was a little, I mean, these things happen. And, who cares, to your point. But Bo Nickel is still, stylistically, the hardest match for Chimaev. I don't think Chimaev would disagree with that. He's stylistically, that would probably be his most difficult match on the whole roster.
You still think they fight on the White House card?
No, Chimaev and Bo?
Yeah, you told me.
I did?
Yes.
I did,
when I asked
really?
you who would you book on the White House card, you said Chimaev and
who
Bo.
would I book is very different than who do I think they're going to.
Oh, okay.
No. Boy, that's an interesting one. No, I do not think.
Who would you book right now? Now we're getting closer. 6 months away, 7 months away.
Who would I book versus who? And I'm going to answer from a different perspective. Who do I believe would be booked? Right now, what they are secretly working towards is Islam Makhachev and Ilya Topuria. And that's likely.
I think so. For the White House.
They go, yes. That's
No
likely.
American.
And I don't know why people keep thinking there would be. I mean, just to use Noche, for example, Noche 2 years ago at Sphere, the biggest gate in history, $25 million, only time the company's ever done it. Sean O'Malley from Arizona versus Merab Dewashalavili from not here.
Yeah, Georgia.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, I don't quite know where people got this idea.
What about John just like openly begging now for a spot?
And you got to be real careful if you do want to bill it American versus somebody. You got to be real careful because you can't control that script.
Right.
It's not Rocky.
So meaning you don't want America to lose at the White House.
That would be weird if you bill it that way. If you're going to bill it as the birthday and the blah blah blah, and then we're going to the British flag is going to come.
It's not Luger slamming Yokozuna on the SS.
Yes. And by the way, if we do have to have an American and we have to have a win, we got to call Albuquerque. There's only one guy we can call if we're trying to.
Do you think it's weird that he's openly begging like this?
I don't think that it's weird. I appreciate it to a degree. He is a guy that has never really understood what we're doing here. And he's not a guy that you could ever sit down and explain it to because he's had such success. He thinks he's got it figured out. It's just one of those situations. You want to know what does deserve a review, Ariel? Every Tuesday at 9 a.m., they come out with rankings. John Jones is not ranked anywhere in the top 15, and I would just like to know why. And I have my own hypothesis. I do not think the secret rankings committee that gets together and submit these names have all collectively, without conspiring, decided John Jones is no longer a top 15 fighter. I don't think they're submitting his name, and I don't know what that looks like. Whoever from the UFC submits to the rankings committee, and then it comes back to them ranked. I believe, and I can't prove it. I think the UFC is I don't think the rankings committee is currently getting John's name. And if he is in the pool and he is under contract, I think that requires an explanation as to why.
So are you saying that he's the victim here?
Yes. I'm saying that I don't think anybody reasonable believes that John Jones, because he retired from the sport for 8 days, is no longer a top 15 badass in an organization. However, but I bring this to because you're talking about booking him at the White House. You're talking about booking him for a world title fight. How do you put a guy in a world title fight that's not ranked in the top 15?
I mean, it's John Jones.
I fully understand that, but all the same, how's he not ranked in the top 15?
I guess they took him out because he retired and they didn't put him back in.
That's right. Well, the only way, allegedly, from what we told. Now, you got to understand, we fiercely adhere to the rules we make up as we go, but the only thing that we have been told is if you are under contract with the UFC and you are not eligible for rankings, it's because you have an USADA issue. And I realize it's no longer USADA. But he might have an USADA issue because when you retire, he would have to re-enter the pool. So it doesn't necessarily scream to he's got a secret test like Conor had. It could just be we haven't been given clarification. But if you leave and you re-enter and you have a past fail, you're supposed to do 180 days. And it would not matter if you only left for 8 days and it was an accident and you were drunk when you made the comment. It wouldn't matter. You would still have to serve 180 days. But nobody's given us an actual answer to that. And I do think that that's wrong. If we're going to show an integrity to the rankings committee, which we don't respect and we don't show an integrity to, but if we're going to do that, somebody owes us an explanation as to why John Jones is not in the top 50.
I don't even know if there's human beings actually making these, rankings.
Yeah.
I don't even know who's doing it. Does he fight in 2026? True or false?
Well,
he's talking so much smack about Tom.
He doesn't have the money to not. He doesn't have the money to walk away. He doesn't have a choice. I mean, that's
why did he walk away to begin with? He was offered $30 million.
Yeah.
He asked for 30, and he got that.
Yeah, no,
and now he's apologizing.
Yeah, no, I don't know. He
miscalculated that one.
Math. Yeah, he did that thing with Nate, and they got $300,000, and it took 30 days, and so all of a sudden he's like, "Well, if I can make $300,000 in 30 days, and I can do this every 30 days."
Sure.
No, it's. I mean, sometimes explaining very basic things it can be tough, but. Will he fight again? Yes, I believe so. And I think there's some real legs. Look, if you're the UFC, the last thing you want to do is empower a dude that you can't count on. And by the way, it ties back into my theory to whoever's keeping him out of the rankings. Like there's something afoot there. And apparently I'm not quite getting your attention on that. So I'll move on.
No.
Well, but just to move on from that, if the one thing you don't want to do is to empower John Jones, you find yourself in a very unique situation, which is to put him with Pereira. Now, there is no title. He can't turn the gun on you like he just did. He can't hold you hostage like he just did. That's a proposition I don't think that Dana ever thought he'd be presented with. I think Dana always assumed I got a main event him, I got a world title him. Now all of a sudden Pereira comes along. And that is a very hard thing to look away from. That is a compelling match. Joe Rogan called that the biggest match in the history of humanity. I don't know that it would go that far,
I don't
but
agree with
it's a
that.
big fight.
Yeah.
It's a big match.
No, it's a huge fight.
Yeah.
And I say just do it.
Absolutely.
Because now he's not holding up the division, to your point. So just do it. It's fun. Have Pereira move up. Have Yuri, fight for the belt against Alberg.
Sure.
And it fixes Aspinall. I didn't understand why Dana was so mad about the Aspinall Gane thing, because now you get my only theory is he had other plans for Aspinall and was maybe going to try to do Aspinall versus John, and this delayed it and screwed it up.
Sure, perhaps.
Because now the rematch is going to be gigantic.
Yeah. Well, it'll be a lot bigger. Yeah.
Lot bigger than
that's
this.
the smallest pay-per-view of the year, but it wasn't really their fault. They held it.
Afternoon card.
Well, I was going to say they held it at 10 a.m.
Yeah. What about Ronda?
Time, so
what about
it's
Ronda?
not their fault, but it is the smallest.
Ronda going after Joe?
No, well, that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. That Ronda's speaking up.
She's coming back, right?
No.
No, she is.
Oh heavens, no.
No, she is.
Fight?
Yes.
Oh no.
This is it.
No.
I think there's talks of her versus Gina.
Yeah, there could be talk. Ronda will not fight.
You don't think so?
No.
Why?
Well, first off, Ronda got retired. Ronda's contract was so beautiful and called for so much money, you had to main event her. And she was not one of the best fighters in the world. when we call her the world champion, it's because we had no idea who should be where, how to do that. Like, it was still getting formulated. If you'll recall, she was announced at a press conference as world champion. They handed her the belt. I mean, not for nothing, but imagine how bad that story could have gone. If she would have lost her first fight, she would actually be a world champion to never win a fight, which, by the way, happens to be what Tom Aspinall is. Right. I mean, that's a tough one. You got to figure that out. You got to straighten that. I'm the undisputed champion of the world who never won an undisputed championship. I mean, you see where that becomes a little bit of a problem. So all I'm saying for Ronda is when she got ran out of the sport, she was still a top 7, a top 8. She could still beat a lot of girls, which for most athletes would be a lifelong dream. But you're paying her so much money, you got to put her in main events. With main events, you got to put her in world title fights, and she could not go with the top girls. She couldn't even go 5 minutes with them. So to act like you're going to bring her back, even in a scrub fight, nobody's looking to see that. And the UFC does not have a history of that. The UFC has such a history of doing fights for absolutely no reason than other doing them that they're not even sure they're going to do Pierre versus John Jones, which the whole world wants to see. They're just looking at it and going, look, what story does that tell? And Dana White only puts on, people don't realize this about him. I was told this by Reed Harris, who at one point was, at least in theory, a competitor. And Reed said the thing with Dana and the reason none of us can touch him, every fight he has a significance. And it's true. Dana does not ever put a fight on just to have. Every fight has to at least have the ability to tell a story for another fight. It doesn't matter if it's the first card of that. It's got to at least have the ability to get you into something else. And no, the idea of Ronda coming back for a night of coming back, no. And by the way, and I don't mean to hate on Ronda. I'm just trying to be a little more serious here. It is very important to the people that tell the story that Ronda Rousey is the reason women's fighting is here and that she's the biggest star in the sports history. That's very important to the people that tell the story. There's just nothing to support it. She doesn't have a merchandise record. She doesn't have a pay-per-view record. She's not even in the top 10. She doesn't have a live gate record. She's not even in the top 10. She never did. It's not like she had these records and I came along and took them or Connor came along and took them. She never had them. There is no truth to the story of Ronda the Star. It's an important way, and I realize our leadership insists it's told that way, but it's not true.
Do you think that's why she's so bitter towards the sport?
I think that a little bit, or she'll hear somebody like me come out and go, hey, I thought we were friends. We are friends, but I still have a job to do, which is tell the story the way that it happened. You were the most likely person to get on Ellen's couch. We could have really used you. The moment the light dimmed on you, you left us. You could have still gone to Ellen's couch and put over the next card. I'm no longer a fighter in the UFC. I used to make millions of dollars. I used to be the biggest draw, Ariel. I used to have a lot of fun. I'm none of those things anymore. But here I am telling you about Islam. Here I am telling you about Jack. I'm trying in my own way to pitch in. You're not paying me to be here. I love the sport. The sport did something for me. I feel at least. She never even came back and made cameos. She never even came and sat in the front row. She had nothing to do with us. And then she wonders why people are going good riddance to you. You said it to us. And secondly, it's not real. The only thing that's real is the money and the miles. How long were you away from your family? And when it was all done, how much money did you bring home to your family? Anything else is fake. I remember hanging my head when my career was over and I needed a couple of weeks and who am I now? And my identity was lost. And I remember Brittany had no time for this. So this isn't real. You're going to your phone and looking at your Twitter, then you're having your day affected. This is right here is real. We were in the car. She goes, these two kids and me, this is real. And I'm just sharing, like, that's a hard thing for some people. I don't say this to put down Ronda, but those stories of Ronda aren't true. She was never the best fighter in the world. That's not true. You don't believe that.
Best fighter period or best women's fighter?
Well, I just meant in her division, of course.
Yeah,
of course, I didn't mean overall.
I mean, at 135 at one point, she was...
You think so?
Well, who was better than her?
Well, and she did get over on Misha.
Yeah,
by the
Misha,
way.
Alexis Davis, Betch Kohel.
Very, very fantastic. Yeah. Liz actually is a very excellent
almost
fighter
got
as well.
submitted. Could you imagine?
Yeah. I think that Liz was still forming at that time.
Yeah.
You're right. I don't want
longevity.
I don't want to put all of them down, but Holly Holm was here at that same time.
No. In retrospect, we all got the Holly Holm fight wrong.
There you go.
Holly Holm is a Hall of Fame
Amanda
boxer.
was around. The bullet probably could have moved up. I'm just sharing with you. There's enough to have a conversation. But
what about
to act
this?
as though this was the best of an era based on what we saw in those pickings is a little extreme.
I got to be honest. When this Jake Paul Francis Ngannou story came out, I really loved it.
I loved it.
And he said didn't quite make sense.
He said it doesn't make sense. What doesn't make sense about it? What part did you not like? You didn't like the idea that you were going to beat a guy? You didn't like the idea that you were going to walk out in front of thousands of people? You didn't like the fact, I think it was on Netflix, which is a big honor.
Yeah.
You didn't like the millions of dollars he was offered? What part specifically of that story did you not like? I'm very curious about that. And more power to Francis, by the way. Like, if he lives by a code, I guess I respect it. I thought his code was made up and he was a whore like the rest of us that wanted the money. I guess there's a little bit more depth to him. But could you imagine how irritating that would be to be his manager or to be his trainer who you're counting on 10%? You got a chance to make $10 million, which means your cut is going to be $1 million, and all he needs to do is make that walk and go beat up this little guy that used to be a Disney character. And he says, no, it doesn't make sense. And you got to sit at home and go, why do you think I'm in here with you every day? Why do you think I believe it? Why do you think I treat you like a son? Do you think it's because you really are mine? It's not. It's about the money. And I don't ever want to tell you that, but it's a business. It's about the money, and you just cost me $1 million.
Yeah, I love that fight, man. I really did.
I love it too. Hey, what about the balls it take for Jake?
Short notice.
Could you imagine?
Yes.
Could you imagine?
I'm way more interested in that fight than Tank Davis.
Picture being in the ring and you look over and it's
Francis
with gloves on.
65 pounds bigger than you.
You can't grab him. Like, whatever hope that you have, whether you could succeed at grabbing him or not in MMA, you at least have the hope. You don't even have that hope. You are going to be bludgeoned in just a moment by this mountain, this DNA beautiful
in a way,
monster of a man.
From the Chael Sonnen school, is this not the best thing to happen to Jake? He essentially called out the top dog, the
100%.
biggest dog in the MMA yard.
Beat him.
And he said no.
In the playground rules, if two guys get called to fight and one guy doesn't show, yes, I think that it's a very big thing for Jake, and I hope he gets his credit for it. And what a different fight. I mean, we were talking about short notice.
Yeah.
Tank Davis, the world's smallest guy you've ever fought, to the world's biggest guy you've ever fought. And he knew he doesn't think he can beat Francis. He was willing to take the ass whipping to follow the golden rule, which is the show goes on. I promised a performance to these people. I promised a paycheck to my team. I'm going to do whatever it takes to follow through with that, and I'll deal with the consequences. Jake deserves a lot of credit for that. He won't get it, but he deserves
I hope
it.
Francis changes his mind.
Can he? Didn't they cancel the event? I thought the whole
but
event
for December. For December.
Oh, okay.
That's what they're trying to do now. They're trying to do a date in December.
How bad
December.
do you want to work with a guy that's? I mean, I hear you. You know, the money would talk, but how hard? I fully agree. I fully agree.
But it's actually a very interesting
matchup. But that's
matchup.
a tough attitude, man. I call you and offer you millions of dollars. And you got to understand,
playing hard to get.
I can redo this in December. That's true. But if I don't pull this date off in November, I'm out about $8 million in marketing.
Yeah.
Like, not for nothing. Could you help me? Does please works for me. Some guy in the industry calls me, even if it's hey, please, I need that. You got it. We'll put our thing
negotiation. On. Maybe he just didn't like the offer.
Yeah, it could be, but I mean, I would think just
winnable fight
because of the money that they're out and the short notice, and you know, typically in our industry, when you make calls like that, particularly with Dana White, he understands. He understands the gun's about to get pointed in his face, and he opens the checkbook. You know, it's part of the game, and I think that Jake Paul is known for doing things right. Everyone has talked about how generous and straight up MVP is. So, and that's before you even have the Netflix angle. But yes, maybe Francis is doing that. I'm not mad at Francis about it. I was just confused.
Chris and Anderson. Did you have FOMO when you saw that?
Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. I reached out to Chris. I had that information early. I wanted to make a YouTube video. And I just said, hey, man, I got this, but is it a secret? Can you confirm it? Is it a secret? He said, I can't confirm, but I think it's a secret. Don't do anything with it. But yeah, I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean, those things are silly to a degree, but they're also pretty cool. Hey, have we ever seen somebody that likes to compete more than Anderson Silva or Chris Weidman?
50 years old. Oh, yeah, and Chris. Yeah.
Chris was just doing some video with like a family member on the beach. I don't know if you happen to see that.
Yes.
He was exhausted. He was pushing. Like, he was actually digging deep and showing grit to win a beach wrestling match at 40 years old. Like, I mean, there's few people that are competitors like Chris Weidman.
Man, this is so much fun.
Yeah. You've had it with me.
No.
No, we always get to this point where eventually you don't know how to get rid of me.
I'm just saying. I'm just sort of taking it all in.
You know, would you agree with me at all that we came right off this, and maybe it is just me, but the city is not quite lit up.
Oh, yeah.
And do you think my hypothesis against perhaps the in-between with ESPN, perhaps that's a fair hypothesis?
I think by the time the event happens, it's going to be sold out. It's as you said, Gate. I think Islam and Jack don't talk a lot of smack, so there's no friction there. I think it's an amazing card, but if you actually look at the players, this is like a real hardcore fans card. Islam Jack, don't talk smack. Zhang Valentina, don't talk smack. Leon, Carlos, they don't really talk smack. Sean and Morales, don't talk smack. BSD, Benil Dariush. That's an amazing 5-pack of fights. There's not one smack talker there. One guy who's going to puff his chest out, right? There's not a single one. Like Brady Morales is an unbelievable fight. I'm kind of surprised they booked Brady against Morales.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought he was going to get a title shot.
Brady's so good, dude.
So good, but Morales is so good.
I agree. Brady is, the first time I ever saw Brady, this little guy is walking out to do the job against Craig Jones. He ends up winning.
Oh, yeah.
It was a grappling match, and, he was a smaller guy, and he was representing Henzo's gym. You don't really know much about him, and he ended up winning that match. I followed Sean Brady ever since,
Who do you like in that one, by the way?
I like Brady.
You like Brady?
Yeah, I like Brady for the world title. Yeah.
Like to become champion? Like he would beat Islam if he won? Or
I'm not. I mean, I don't know for sure that he would win it, but yes, he could be the world champion. Yes, on the right day, Sean Brady could beat every man alive. Yes.
What about Carlos and Leon?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Just had Leon here, kind of a make or break for him, right?
Leon can beat everybody, but he doesn't know it. That's the problem with Leon. Leon doesn't know how good he is. Leon lost the belt to Blahal because he doubted himself. Leon was ready to do the job for Kamar the night that the kick was heard around the world. He ended up digging. He had changed the math. He was no longer trying to win that fight. It was a moral bet. He was just going to get through all 5 rounds. Fair enough. And then that kick comes, but it's like, Leon, you can do that to everyone. He doesn't know how good he is. I think that he grew up and maybe he didn't have parental support. I think maybe his parents didn't tell him how great he was because he really doesn't know. He is a very. Did you see that day where he took the basketball and he chucks it?
Yeah.
It goes.
I don't know if that's real or not.
Is that real? I thought it
think
was.
it's
Am I
AI.
a fool?
I think it's
Oh,
AI.
am I a fool?
Yeah. I thought it was.
Oh,
real.
that's
nice. It was nice though. I think
That
LeBron did the same thing.
sucks.
You thought that was
Yeah,
real?
I thought it was
Oh,
real.
you got duped.
But all I'm saying is he's a winner. This guy's a winner. He's a nice human being. He's got to grow up after his dad gets murdered. He could end up in prison and nobody would question. Turns out to be a gentleman. And he's a sweet guy. He doesn't know how good he is. So you ask me how he's going to do in that fight? I don't know. I know he's the better fighter. I know he's been the best fighter in the company for 6 or 7 years. But he doesn't know it. So
you want to talk to this young guy, Josh, or no? Or is that awkward?
I want you to tell him hi. No, just tell him hi.
Okay.
Make sure he accepted the invitation. We welcomed him into the club, but now I haven't heard from him. So, you got to talk to him. You got to go, hey, I hear you're
This is a big opportunity. It's a big invitation. Don't screw
the
this
Uncle
up.
Chael veil of protection, which is a very real thing in this business.
Well, it's great to see you.
You tell him I said hi?
I am good. I mean, I was going to offer you, but I think you'd rather I do it.
Well, now it got weird.
No,
Can
no,
you hear
no.
me say this?
I don't know if
Is
he's
he on
here
hold?
yet.
Tell him I said hello.
Guys, is he
I want
there?
to sit and enjoy his interview.
I don't want to make it.
No,
I don't want to make it. I don't want to make it.
I'm leaving. You've embarrassed me. You made me look like.
But I want to
fool,
say goodbye to you
but
properly.
You don't mean it. You don't.
I want to say goodbye to Steve.
I'm getting up.
Wait, can we take a picture?
Fine.
Okay, but we're gonna do it on the air. Let's do it on the air.
All right, we're
okay,
doing it
we're
on
doing
the
it on the
air.
air.
Where do we come? Does Steve come back here?
Steve, do you mind taking a picture?
Does he come over here though?
No, we're gonna do it in front.
All right, we go.
We're doing it on the
well,
air,
you'll
guys.
Tell Josh,
Yeah, I mean, he's listening to all of this.
Yeah, okay, you'll tell him.
That you're proud of him.
Yeah, don't tell him
He needs
I
to work on the
walked out
promo
on his
skills a little bit.
interview. I'm walking out so I can listen to you, the greatest
Imitation.
interview, my new guy.
Greatest form of flattery. Okay, here we go.
All right, Grandpa.
Okay, yeah. Come, take a quick picture.
Too
for us,
young to
sir.
be called Grandpa.
Yeah,
It's his
I got
birthday
you.
yesterday. It's his birthday yesterday.
Happy birthday,
Yeah.
sir. Look at this, guys.
Steve, how's it going? It's great to see you.
Okay, here we go. Here, take a quick picture. That's Connor, by the way, not
What's up,
Guru.
Ron? Yeah, we know
What's
each
up,
other.
y'all?
Connor's generally fairly supportive of Uncle Chael on Twitter.
He loves you.
Fairly supportive.
Watch Fairly.
Hey,
Watch
hey,
Fairly.
Good, Steve.
Wait,
Great
what
to
about
see
the
you, Joe.
Polaroid?
Yeah, come on.
Don't forget about the Polaroid. Here
Are
we
we
go.
on?
Why, does he talk smack about you on Twitter?
No. He's
You've
awesome.
seen him?
He's been awesome.
Oh, you got a big Steve in there too.
I love it. Thanks,
That's another
guys.
Polaroid? All right.
Thanks.
All right, we've had it with you.
We're online.
We've had it
well,
with
look,
you.
Chael, you left me hanging. You left
Yeah.
me.
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
You'll have me back when I'm done running
Absolutely.
for office. This is going to cost you a little something.
Please,
too.
into the microphone.
Yeah. Well, I don't want you when I'm running for office and then you write me back and go, oh, no, I don't do that.
You asked me for something recently, and I came through for you.
Yeah, but I'm going to ask you for money. and
Donation?
It's going to be small.
We're a little tight on
It's
cash
gonna
these
cost
days.
You $1,000. It
Okay,
cost you $1,000
with pleasure.
for both.
What does both
If
mean?
I win the primary, which it's another.
Put me down for two.
No,
Put me down for 2K.
Thank you, Ariel.
Thank you. Go get a slice. Go get a hot dog at the corner here. There he is, Chael P and Steve. Thank you so much, guys. Okay, there they are. I tried to make it happen. Chael P here. Always a great pleasure when he joins us. Thanks for watching this video. Before you go, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for us. Also, give us a thumbs up, leave a nice comment. These things go a long way. And while you're here, do check out the rest of the channel. We've got live shows and full interviews, clips, and a whole lot more. We're doing big things here, and we appreciate your support very much.